Hi, and welcome to the So You Want to Be an Author Now What Telesummit. Now, officially, we're not starting today, but I wanted to kind of give you some information and get you excited leading up to the Telesummit. I am super excited at all of the people that have agreed to be a part of this. Zara Green, Stephanie Bavaro, April Franks Hunt, Finesse Mitchell, Danielle Winningham, all best-selling authors in their own right. Now, I'm going to have some special goodies for you along the way, so I want to make sure that you are tuned in, you are locked and loaded, and that you are ready to find out what is so special about being an author and how it can change your life and indeed change the world. That is truly what I believe, and so I'm super excited that you're going to be a part of this Telesummit with us, and that this is officially your start of your journey to being an author. So let's just kind of clear up some things. I mean, I talk a lot about what it does for you when you write a book. And why it's so important that you write a book. I went to a conference one time and they described having a book is a really expensive business card. And that's kind of what it is. I mean, some people write a book, to make more money, but a book does so much more for you than just bringing extra money. Like I said, it changes your life, but it also changes the world. So just a few reasons. First of all, it's an opportunity to share your expertise. And I know I'm going to get some pushback and people are going to be like, oh, I'm not an expert. But you really are. And I'll talk a little bit about why you're an expert in a little bit. But you are an expert. And so it establishes an opportunity for you to share your expertise. And then it even, further solidifies you as an expert. It's like when we're looking for guests for a show, or I'm looking for a guest for a platform to do an interview, the first thing I do is I Google to see who's out there talking about the particular subject I want to do the interview on. And 9 times out of 10, the top person in the Google search engine, the one that comes up like number 1, 2, 3, they've written a book. And that's why they rank so high in Google. So it automatically, in anybody's eyes, whether it's the media, whether it's your mama, whether it's, the speaking circuit, whether it's the conference circuit, whether it's with your clients, it establishes you as an expert. It also further solidifies your authority. People work to be in my position. People work really hard to, become a doctor, to become a teacher, but neither work nor education establishes your authority in a particular area of expertise is when you write a book. So that's another reason. The first one is it further establishes your expertise, but it also solidifies your authority. It sets you apart from the rest of the crowd. So many people say that they want to write a book, but so few do it. So once you write that book, it just separates you. So say you're a social media expert. We'll just take that for an example. If you look at the people who just say they're a social media expert and those that have written a book on being a social media expert, it holds a little bit different weight. And so when you write your book, because you're going to write it, it's going to separate you from the crowd. So that's another really good reason that we want to write this book. And then another reason is that it expands your market. I've seen people who have really, established themselves as an expert. And Finesse Mitchell is a good example of this. And you're going to get to talk to him on the first day of the Telesummit. But he was a comedian. He's an actor. He's been in Disney. He's done some really, really big things. But I was introduced to Finesse because he had written a book. And, he was talking about all the things that your girlfriend won't tell you, that you could only hear from a man. So we brought him on as a relationship expert. And then when I found out, I was like, doing the research, I'm like, oh, he's a comedian and an actor too. But he had been introduced to a whole different market because he wrote this book. So not only does it, is it a marketing tool for you inside the area, but it could also be a marketing tool to rebrand yourself in some other areas. But we're going to talk about that with Finesse. Finesse is going to tell us more about how he was able to do that. And then if you want to launch a business, if you want more clients or you want to launch a business, writing a book is a really, really good way to do that. So you also want to keep that in mind. Now, for those of you who say, I'm not an expert, you are an expert. You are an expert on all the things that you know, all the experiences you've had, everything that you've done in your life has made you an expert. So now whether it's an expert through formal education, or it's an expert through life's education, or it's an expert just because you have a particular point of view that somebody else may not have, you are an expert. So it just means that you are qualified to deliver the knowledge that you have to a select group of people, whatever that may be on. And I want to just talk about, because I had this conversation yesterday and it really further solidified, why I'm so passionate about helping people write their stories. I was talking to a young woman, and I won't give her name because I didn't ask her permission to do this, but she has a book idea and she wants to write a book for women who may be thinking about becoming a mistress. And she's writing this book from the point of view that she was a mistress. She left her husband, the man she was cheating with, left his wife. They got together and it, took her through hell, to be quite frank. And I was talking to her yesterday and I was like, wow, for those women who, think that it's okay, or, no judgment, but that they want to be involved in this kind of relationship, the kinds of drawbacks that there are, it's really important to have this discussion, and to provide both sides of the story. So if they then decide, this is what I want to go ahead with, they can't think that it's going to be all light and roses, that they understand both sides of the story. And she wants to write this book and she wants help writing this book. And I'm glad that she called me because now I want to help her write this book. But it's just really important. And she has a very unique expertise and she's done it through life. That's her life experience, and she can write that book from that point of view, and that makes her an expert. So it's all relative. It really is. How you develop your expertise, it's all relative. And it's achievable. I remember I was reading this book where they said that, it takes 10,000 hours, I think, to become an official expert. And if you think of all that time that you could be spending trying to become an expert, I mean, that's years. That's 20 years sometimes, depending on how much time you devote to, becoming an expert in whatever it is you're becoming an expert in. But who, as April Franks Hunt says, who you will meet on the day 3 of the Telesummit, ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody has time for that, but it's very achievable. So when you think of, like I said, the expertise that you have just because of who you are and what you've done and all of the experiences you have, that cuts down on that 10,000 quite quickly, right? So you want to keep that in mind as you think about you and what your expertise is. And then passion, sometimes makes you an expert. Whatever you're passionate about, because you're so passionate about it, you want to bring it to the forefront. Like I said about the woman who wants to write the book, she's passionate about helping women have all of the knowledge of what this could possibly entail. She's passionate about that. She didn't go to school to learn this. She's not a psychologist, but she's an expert because she's passionate about it and because she's lived it. So think about some of the things that you're passionate about and what you can teach people through your passion. Is it a passion for helping single mothers budget so that they can manage their finances better? Are you passionate about helping maybe post-traumatic stress disorder, people that are experiencing that, help them move past it? I recently started doing this yoga program. I don't talk much about it, but a year ago I had back surgery and I was really concerned about regaining my fitness level after surgery. And so I've been trying to find all these programs and books in order to help me really manage my core strength, because you lose a lot of that when you have back surgery because you're not able to work out your core for a long time. But also flexibility. You don't realize like how much your back you need for doing different things. So I was Googling and I found this former wrestler who had spinal fusion surgery. And he's developed a yoga, for anybody that knows Diamond Dallas Page, but I didn't know who he was. But he's developed this program, inspirational messages, yoga, workout. I mean, all of this whole thing around helping people that have had back surgery or back issues or back problems, rebuild not only their body, but their lives, because it's extremely hard. And so that is his passion. That is what he has become so passionate about doing. So through this passion, he's not only, known as he was a really big wrestler apparently, but now he helps people rebuild their lives and their backs using rehabilitative yoga. So it's awesome. So passion can fuel that expertise as well. So you just have to figure out, what it is and how you're going to become an expert and how you're going to push forward. And I just want to say this too, because your passion doesn't necessarily always have to relate to what you do. So I may be an expert. I mean, whatever your book is about doesn't always have to relate to what you do. So my job may be the senior producer for the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and that's my career, and it's been for a really long time, and I'm passionate about that. But that's not all my expertise is limited to. I mean, I'm also a writer. I'm thinking about writing a book about being a single mom to two fabulous African-American boys. I mean, that in itself, there's a unique group of people that may need motivational messages around that. And it's interesting because I want to write that book from the standpoint of having a really great father. I have, he's still with us. I have a really great father. He was he was in the house. My parents are still married. And I'm a big old daddy's girl for anybody that knows me. I mean, my dad is like my hero. And teaching my boys the things that I learned just from watching him and how he was a husband and how he was a father. And even though I'm not trying to be anybody's daddy, I learned some really powerful ways, that men operate when they're in a certain space of greatness. And that's the way my dad was. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. You can tell I'm really, really excited. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just thankful that you're with us. I'm thankful for the journey. I'm going to be talking about some really powerful action steps that you can start taking now to realize your dream for being an author. I'm going to introduce you to all the speakers and tell you more about them. So keep a lookout. That'll be coming into your email really, really shortly. And I just want you to be ready. I want you to be ready. I want you to be open. I want you to be fired up. Just get fired up. This is going to be a great way to end your year and a perfect launching pad for 2015. So keep looking for that email. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And if you know anybody that you think would benefit from this, don't forget to send them to the link wannabeanauthor.com. Have a great day. I will talk to you in a couple days. That's it. I'm Nikki Woods, and I'll talk to you soon.